want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb.
The Real McCoys was an American sitcom that was on the air on the ABC network for 5 seasons before moving over to CBS for one last season. It was co-produced by Danny Thomas and Sheldon Leonard, filmed at the Desilu Studios in Hollywood, and aired from 1957 to 1963. The interior shots were filmed at Desilu Studios, and the exterior shots were done on the same 40-acre lot as the Andy Griffith Show. If you drove in front of the courthouse on the Andy Griffith Show and kept going towards the Mayberry Hotel, you'd eventually run into the set of the Real McCoys just a few hundred yards away. In this classic sitcom created by Irving Pincus, Grandpa Amos McCoy relocates his family from the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia to the San Fernando Valley in Southern California.
You folks are a long way from West Virginia.
Yeah, not so far, but what we don't know our rights. We're bona fide property owners, taxpayers, and legal residents this here state of California.
The McCoys, a family of hillbillies originally from the fictional village of Smoky Corners, inherit a farm in California from a family relative. The show was, in fact, the predecessor to shows like the Beverly Hillbillies and the Andy Griffith Show. Grandpa Amos, portrayed by famous character actor Walter Brennan, and Amos' grandson Luke McCoy, played by Richard Crenna, lead this crazy household. Kate McCoy, played by Kathleen Nolan, is Luke's wife. Lydia Reed plays Luke's teenage sister Tallahassee, or Hassie as she is called, and Michael Winkleman plays Little Luke, Luke's younger brother. Pepino Garcia, played by Tony Martinez, is also hired by the McCoys. He had previously worked as a property foreman for their uncle Ben McCoy, who had died. Then there's Andy Clyde and Madge Blake, who play the McMichael siblings. They're the McCoys' neighbors, and they appear in many episodes of the series. George McMichael, like Amos, is a grumpy old man. They both add to the show's interesting dynamic. It's also worth noting that Richard Crenna, who plays Luke McCoy on the series, became a director on the Andy Griffith Show. If you check through the credits of the Andy Griffith Show, you'll see Richard Crenna's name listed on 8 episodes in Season 4 of the show. Both the Real McCoys and the Andy Griffith Show have a lot in common. They were both shot on the Desilu sound stages and on the 40-acre back lot. You can almost guarantee that if you saw certain characters on the Real McCoys, you'll see them again on the Andy Griffith Show at some point. Danny Thomas and Sheldon Leonard have connections to both shows, as they were also executive producers on both shows. Sheldon Leonard couldn't stand Walter Brennan, despite rarely saying anything bad about other performers. Leonard purposely stayed away from the show, leaving creator Irving Pincus to deal with Brennan. Brennan, who is known to fans as the nice but cranky old Grandpa Amos McCoy, held conservative political views in real life and reportedly branded people as communists if they didn't agree with his views. He was also known to make racial remarks on the set, which upset the cast and crew. In contrast, though, many episodes have a highly moral theme to them. Like the episodes Gambling is a Sin and You Can't Cheat an Honest Man.
Mr. Bailey, I've been fixing to cheat you. I'm ashamed of myself. I want the whole thing to stop right here.
Mr. McCoy, you're an honest man.
Perhaps one of the most memorable episodes was called The New Well. It shows the difference between science and folklore when Grandpa's divining rod finds a new source of water for the farm more quickly than a professional geologist, played by Joe Flynn.
Well, Mr. McCoy, how does it feel to be right?
Oh, kind of natural, yes, kind of natural. And you thought that stick didn't know water from a hole in the ground.
The episode Little Luke's Education tackles the issue of children bullying people of different backgrounds. Grandpa McCoy sets out to confront these kids and teach them that their behavior is wrong.
Something I want to straighten out about hillbillies. Now, before you kids go to poking fun and snickering, I'm going to ask you to open up them books of yours and find out about these folks they call stupid hillbillies and what they done for this here country.
Luke's new wife, Kate, though still in her 20s, acts as a mother figure for Luke's younger siblings, Hassie and little Luke. In one episode, she's completely bewildered when trying to figure out how to get the kids to take responsibility for their schoolwork. That's something every parent can relate to. Actor John Lormer was cast to play the character Sam Watkins. Joan Blondell appeared near the end of the series as Aunt Wynn, and Marjorie Bennett was cast as Amanda Comstock. Pat Buttram and Howard McNear made 3 appearances on the show and went on to play Mr. Haney and Floyd the Barber on The Andy Griffith Show and on Green Acres. Charles Lane, a frequent guest star on I Love Lucy, was cast as Harry Paulson, a quick-witted egg salesman. Hassie McCoy takes a real liking to Harry's son. Jack Oakey was featured in the role of Uncle Rightly, Lorene Tuttle as Gladys Purvis, and Dick Elliott was appropriately cast as Doc Thornton. Interestingly enough, the episode The Tycoon, which aired in Season 4, ultimately became the title of Brendan's next ABC comedy, The Tycoon, which he co-starred in with Van Williams. And in the 1959 episode, The McCoys Go to Hollywood, which features Dorothy Provine and a look inside the Desilu Studios, where the series was filmed, actress Barbara Stanwyck also makes a brief cameo appearance. Fay Wray appears as herself in the 1961 episode, Theater in the Barn. She donates her time to direct a local amateur production in order to raise funds for the Grange Farm Association, of which the McCoys were members. On February the 3rd, 1961, Kathy Nolan, who played Kate McCoy, was thrown off a horse and injured during the filming of an episode. She was in and out of the hospital several times, missing 4 months of work as a result. She eventually returned, but due to a contract dispute, she left the series and was written out of the remaining episodes. The producers justified her absence by saying her character had died, but no other information was ever given. When the show moved to CBS for its final season, Grandpa mentions that Luke is now a widower, meaning Kate had passed away between the 5th and 6th seasons. Hassie left home to go to college in the first episode of the 6th season, and little Luke went off to army camp and wasn't seen again. Grandpa Amos didn't even appear in the last 11 episodes of the show, and now that Luke was a widower, many of the last episodes were about trying to find him a new wife. It was thought that the new network wanted to save money in the show's 6th season and probably felt that the show would still do pretty well without the full cast. Unfortunately, this turned the show's remaining fans off, and the show was soon canceled. For a number of reasons, The Real McCoys was a hit and remained in the top 20 Nielsen ratings for 5 of its 6 years. There were a lot of laughs to be sure, but the show also had a lot of heart, highlighted the importance of family, and taught numerous life lessons throughout the series. The show was rerun on CBS under the name The McCoys, but it will always be remembered by its fans as The Real McCoys, about a West Virginia family that never forgot their southern roots even after relocating to California. Thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye for now.